My goal today is very simple. I want to save you time. I want to make you more productive with AI, not by talking about the future and all the power, but by giving you things you can literally start using tomorrow morning. My idea for this came from a small failure that led to a big realization. About a month ago, I was closing my Series B at my company Pro Rata. I had worked all weekend on my board deck for my board meeting the following day on Wednesday. And on Tuesday night, I got a text from my board member saying, "Bill, we're all ready to fund tomorrow. Everything's great. I just need one thing from you. I need a 2-page Word document summarizing everything that changed from the Series A to the Series B." And I said, "Are you kidding me?" I didn't text that back to him, but I couldn't believe that was going to take me probably 5 hours to go put all that together. And I just worked all weekend on the board deck. But then I realized, after blocking off 5 hours with a colleague to work on it, that I had my board deck, and I had all my 4 prior board decks from the whole last year. So all that information was in there, just needed to be synthesized, but that was a big project. But then the realization happened. I uploaded those 5 PDF files to ChatGPT. I handed it the literal text from the board member asking for the 2-page Word document, and ChatGPT said, "Thinking for 5 seconds," and came back with a 2-page Word document. I couldn't believe it. I reviewed it. It needed a few small edits, but I had converted 5 hours of work to 5 minutes. And it was absolutely unbelievable that it was able to synthesize that just from the PDF files that I had uploaded. And that led to this realization. It wasn't how much what AI did that shocked me, although that was shocking. It was how close I came to forgetting to use it. And that happens to me all the time during the day, forgetting to use AI as a thinking partner for critical things. And that led me to say, what is different about what's happening right now? I'm still not mentally prepared for the fact that I have this thinking partner on demand, not really just for easy tasks like summarize a document, but for really hard ones. And I've lived through many major technology shifts, through the PC revolution, through the dot-com revolution, mobile revolution, crypto revolution, all of them. And sometimes the biggest losses don't come just from bad technology or not using the technology properly, but from using old habits when the new technology arrives. And that happens all the time. Think about what happened with email. When email first came out, people just took the same documents they were handing around the company and put them into email so they could be electronically transmitted. But then soon, people started evolving with instant messaging, with social media, with Slack. They modified the electronic communication to be way more powerful than just email. Or when the electric motor was invented, people took factories with all the big rods that went through the factory and all the belts that controlled all the equipment, and they just put the electric motor at the end of the factory, just where the turbine was or where the steam engine was. But then quickly, people figured out I can make small electric motors and put them at every station and control things independently. So with every new technology, people start using it the old way, and then they figure out how to use it the new way. And I want to talk more about how to use this technology the new way for more difficult and harder tasks. So my goal today is very simple. As I said, I want to save you time. I want you to stop doing some of your hard work the old way, and I'm going to share 10 prompts that help me the most to think about this in the very new way. And if even one of them helps you, and I hope more than one of them might help you, and if everybody in the room tries one of them, and if everybody who sees this video tries one of them, that might make a tiny dent in the productivity universe around the world by using these things in a new, powerful way. So let me take you through each of these 10 very quickly, and I'll share them with you at the end, too. I can share this whole deck with you. First one, help me think this through without telling me what to do. Give that prompt to your favorite AI system, and you'll see that sometimes the most valuable help isn't just an answer, but the process of thought. If you look at the process of thought, it often surprised me because it reframes me with AI as a thinking partner, not just as an advice machine. It really, really is powerful, and I urge you to try this one. That's number one. Number two, what am I likely misunderstanding about this? This prompt is really great because people, me included, rarely ask AI to challenge them. If you take this prompt and give it some problem that you're working on, you might see completely new things. It starts acting as an intellectual mirror as opposed to just giving you exactly what you asked for. Very useful, and I urge you to try it. Number three, give me 3 unconventional solutions to this problem. AI usually provides very obvious answers. Why? Because it's been trained to give you the most probabilistic likely answer. But if you ask for unconventional solutions, it starts searching for things that you might not have even thought about. Even if you don't use the ideas that it gives you, it expands the universe of things you're thinking about. Very, very useful to ask for 3 unconventional solutions to the problem. Number 4, what question should I be asking myself right now? Sometimes the problem isn't the answer, it's the question. It's sort of meta, it's sort of personal, but it's often uncannily relevant to see what question should you be asking right now about the problem that you're facing or about the thing that you're working on. This is especially valuable when you feel stuck. If you feel stuck in a problem you're looking at and ask, what question should I be asking myself? It opens up new doors of possibility. Number 5, this one I call the blank line prompt. It's a sentence with one thing missing. It comes from Amanda Caswell, and it's really, really creative. An example prompt would be, I'm putting together a cozy gift basket with a candle, a mug, tea, and blank. Or, the moment I stepped off the plane, I knew this trip would change everything because blank. One idea no one's thought of yet for solving this problem is blank. So this prompt is really unusual because it feels more like a thought you didn't finish, but that's exactly why it works so well. And it's really, really powerful because it's so unusual. It gives you things you never could have thought of, and it's using, again, all of the statistical data to try and give you some guidance into what you might want to add to your thinking. Number 6, ask me 5 clarifying questions before answering. This forces the AI to deeply understand your request before completing. Normally, the AI starts out with your prompt, but if you ask it to give you some clarifying questions, it guides it even more precisely. This can dramatically improve the strategy and complex problem solving of the thing you're working on. Number 7, compare the pros and cons of these options and suggest the best one. Obviously, you're always comparing pros and cons in your own life, but asking the AI to do pros and cons, that's something I hadn't tried before. This helps you analyze ideas, products, strategies very efficiently. And what happens is, it shows you the reasoning. And the reasoning sometimes gives you ideas, and that's where the full value of this prompt is seeing the reasoning that the AI would use in determining the pros and cons of a particular idea. Number 8, the hidden wisdom decoder. What are the lesser known, under the surface truths about, and then insert your topic or field or your problem, that are rarely shared publicly because they challenge the mainstream thinking? Explain them with historical context, real-world examples, and why they remain hidden. What's powerful about this is this, again, uncovers things you might not have realized, things other people aren't usually thinking about, and they give you a very powerful assist to your thinking. Number 9, this one is adversarial synthesis. It comes from Azim Azar, and this one's very clever too. Give ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or your favorite AI the same task and have them argue it out. So you're giving the multiple AIs the same problem and have each one critique the others. This will quickly surface gaps in your thinking. This is really, really amazing because each of the AIs has its own perspective, and it might give you new perspectives. And it really challenges your assumptions and gives you higher quality bars than you might have expected. And what it really does is it turns your prompt and your challenge into almost like a panel discussion, and that panel can surface blind spots. And the last one, number 10, the 50x reframe, also from Azim. He asked, what would I do if I had 50 people working on this? So describe your current work process. Then have AI work through this whole thing and say, what would this look like if I had 50 people? What would each role focus on? What would their output look like? How would I spread out all those tasks? And help me identify which parts of these could be done by a human, which parts are best to do by AI. Again, really powerful if you want to think through the process of something you're working on at your project or your company. The 50x reframe is very, very powerful. So these are 10 that I selected. I have 5 more in the appendix, and I'll send you the whole deck if you like. And I really want to welcome all of you to share other ideas you have with me. I'll add them to this deck and share it with the whole world and credit you, because I really think this could be a powerful way of sharing how people can use AI as a thinking partner. But I want to summarize with this. I want to end with something that genuinely excites me about this moment. I really feel that we will look back on 2025 as a turning point in the history of civilization and humanity. Not because AI became perfect, but because it became so widespread and so powerful. Even where we are today, well before AGI, what people talk about coming soon, but well before that, we have a very powerful thinking tool at our side right now. And I think that what amazing it is that we're all alive at this point in human history where that turning point just occurred. And maybe it wasn't 2025, maybe it was 2024, maybe it'll be 2026. But look at, in all of the span of history, what we're witnessing right now in front of our eyes. It really, really is incredible. One of the best ways I've heard AI described is as infrastructure. And we think about electricity as our prior infrastructure. We don't think about using electricity. It's just embedded in everything. And AI is like that. But AI is infrastructure for thought, for actual thinking, not just for power and movement. And that really, really is incredible. And when you look back on the history of civilization, the biological engine of civilization for our last 10,000 years was sort of taking sunlight to photosynthesis, to making food, to us eating the food, or animals eating the food, giving us muscles and brains, and then using that to build up civilization. We built the Roman Empire, we built the pyramids, we built everything we have today with that whole process. And it was incredible. It's relatively inefficient, because photosynthesis is only about 1% efficient, converting sunlight to energy. And then we have to eat that food and grow and think and learn and build up all of that capacity to build. And now we're at a time where it's changing very, very fast, where the new engine of civilization, this new era, is sunlight or fusion. Fusion very soon. We've heard a lot about that here at the conference. Directly to electricity, directly to compute, directly to power AI and robots, directly to value. And basically, we're taking watts and putting them into tokens. Watts directly to wisdom, watts to an intelligence for thinking partner. And that really, really is incredible. We don't have to take those watts and put them as calories into our stomachs only. We still do that. But we can take our watts and turn them directly to this output of thought, this unit of thought. And that really, really is amazing. Never in history was something like that possible, and we're witnessing that right now. So I want to leave you with one simple idea. The biggest risk with AI, and there are many big risks with AI, we heard a lot about them here, and Stuart Russell had an incredible interview here a few days ago about how serious the risk to AI could be. But another risk, in addition to those, is that we use it the same way we used to use it before AI, that we're not using it for hard thinking. And I think using this tool in new, powerful ways is really a great, great promise. We know that AI can polish a draft or summarize a document. That's easy. But the real leverage comes when you ask AI, help me think. And I hope some of these prompts, you can use them to ask AI to help you think. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you're about to spend many hours on a hard task, like I was about to spend working on that big board request to summarize the Series A to Series B, take a few seconds to stop and think about how AI could be your thinking partner in that hard challenge. That habit alone might really give you a superpower. Think about the superpower that you have at your bid and call, and it's really no longer access to knowledge that matters. It's asking the right questions, it's judgment, intention. Human judgment and how you use this is now going to become the most important part. So I really hope this can help you. I really think that in this age of abundant intelligence, how we think matters more than ever. And I hope maybe one of these prompts or maybe more than one of these can really help you. And like I said, please send me other ones that you have or use cases that you tried these out in, and I'll add them to the deck. I have 5 more prompts in the back that I'll share with you too. And feel free to email me, bill@idealab.com, and I'll share everything with you. Thank you so much. You've been a great audience.